Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone has had a very good weekend. And yes, it's Monday night again, 7 p.m. We are live on the Dugout Football channel. Welcome back to the World of Football podcast. And if you are like me, you will be smiling this weekend. Scotland make the Euros for the first time since 1996. And let me introduce my co-host, Josh. Commiserations to Northern Ireland. How are you anyway?
It's been a bit of a mixed weekend. You know, the weekend in general was okay, but obviously that whole Northern Ireland situation was heartbreaking, especially the way we lost. You know, we hit Carl Lafferty, who lost his sister during the week, went on to play against the Slovakia, came off the bench and hit the post with the last kick of the game, and then Slovakia went up and scored to win. That was heartbreaking to say the least.
Yeah, absolutely. We're also joined by one of our viewers tonight as well, Balham. Welcome to the Dugout Football channel. How are you doing, my friend?
Yes, I'm good.
Glad to hear it. And also, he is back on our channel. It is Neel from Beyond the 90 podcast. How are you doing, Neel?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Not bad. It's good to see you again, and hopefully it'll be a good time. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, we have to start with the fact that I can't believe I'm saying these words. Scotland qualify for a major competition for the first time since France 1998. But yeah, the last Euros we qualified was 1996. And unfortunately, as we say, Northern Ireland didn't quite make it as well. So it's been a bit of a mixed week. Let's start with Northern Ireland, shall we, Josh? Really unlucky for you to miss out right at the end. Really hard luck as well. How did you find the Slovakia game anyway?
We started very well. You know, we, as I said on the last week, we had 160 fans. It was 1,060 fans within the ground. We were only one of the only grounds in the European qualifiers that have fans in. That we were making noise. We were up for the game. We started really well, but then Georgie Saville did one of the most stupidest things in the world. He headed the ball towards his goalkeeper, caught Johnny Evans completely out. The Slovakia striker ran onto it and they scored 1-0, and Northern Ireland just never ever got back into the game. We struggled. We just seemingly struggled to push on to score. And as I said one of our things we struggled about last week was our strikers. We have no attacking threat. We just couldn't, and the goal that we did get was lucky. It was an own goal. As I said, Carl Lafferty hit the post, which was heartbreaking. Honestly, I think I would have I think I would still probably be suffering from a hangover if Carl Lafferty scored that goal. So, it's heartbreaking for Northern Ireland. But for me, the biggest problem for me is. The biggest problem for me as a Northern Ireland fan is if we had Michael O'Neill, we would have won that game. Like the manager who came in, he was the under 21s manager of the Northern Ireland under 21s manager. He just hasn't done anything of the same. He hasn't stayed with the same style of play. Defensively, we look shocking.
Yeah,
we look 10 times worse than what Scotland did before Steve Clarke came in. It's a grim future ahead of us, and the World Cup qualifiers come up ahead. I have no faith that we're going to get anywhere near it, unfortunately.
Yeah, but as far as Scotland are concerned, let me just say now. I said this the other night that I thought we had a chance against Serbia. I thought we had a chance to maybe win. After extra time, etc. I did not think we would win on penalties, but Scotland have 100% record in penalty shootouts. So I'm still buzzing. I mean, Neel, what do you make of Scotland qualifying for the Euros the first time since 1996?
I mean, just from seeing the celebrations and that, I think the Scotland team is, littered with people that are actually of really good quality and are actually from Scotland. I mean, a lot of the time, from a Leicester perspective, obviously with Matt Elliott and people like that, as we know from a Leicester perspective, it wasn't exactly the most Scottish person and the most Scottish sounding. So to have that with the quality that you've got, I mean, why not have a go? And at the end of the day, you saw with Iceland, don't write anything off. So with Leicester as well, it's not about the sum of the parts. It's about how that power and that togetherness is. And it looks like Scotland, yes, they don't have the strongest team in the world, but that energy and that momentum will drive you through. And I wish you guys all the best.
Yeah, thank you very much. That is actually nice to hear from someone who obviously loves England and supports England as well. That actually does mean a lot. Balham, what did you make of first of all Scotland qualifying for the Euros for the first time, and what did you make of Northern Ireland just missing out?
Well, very unfortunate for Northern Ireland to have lost it in the last few minutes of extra time.
Mm-hmm.
And you could say lucky Scotland because of the 2 penalty shootout wins against Israel and Serbia.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
They did it. You have to give them credit. They did it on the day. Scotland made it, which is quite something.
Absolutely. Let's say hello to a few people. Thomas Eakin, hello. Hope you are doing well. Liz Golden. Hope that makes you feel better, Josh.
Wait, there's a question to him. Has the Republic of Ireland actually scored since Stephen Kenny took over? I think that's his name, Stephen Kenny. Has the Republic of Ireland actually scored a goal since he took over? Because I think in 8 or 9 games he's played in Friendlies, Nation League, and the European qualifiers, I don't think the Republic of Ireland have scored 1 goal yet under him. I think I could be wrong, but I don't think they've scored yet.
That's a very good question. That actually, I'm not actually sure. Hello to Hella, who has followed up with that, saying, "Congrats to Scotland. Glad they beat the team that knocked Norway out." Oh, well, you are very welcome, Hella. You are very welcome indeed. Villa Together is in. Hope you are doing well, Chris. Hello to Riley Cooper. Hello to Yeti Boy. Forget Scotland. What about the new owners? Oh my goodness, yes. If anyone has not seen this, Wrexham Football Club are to be owned now by 2 Hollywood actors, Ryan Reynolds and Rob, I'm going to get this wrong, McElhenney? Is that how you pronounce it?
No clue.
I was going to say, I don't know either. Hopefully,
no clue.
I'll have a look now.
But 2020 just gets weirder and weirder and weirder with that news. As that we've got 2 American Hollywood actors now, the owners of Wrexham. Really weird. Jack Mack is in. Hello, Jack. Hope you're doing well. We will get you on the podcast very soon as well. Deadpool announces Wrexham's new number 11. Yeah, absolutely. Hello to Chris Welsh as well. No doubt Scotland will knock out my country, England, in Euros. Typical England. Well,
Southgate's on the agenda, so we'll get to that at some point.
Southgate is on the agenda. We will definitely get to that. Great to see the Scots qualify. I'll be supporting you a lot next year, says Sir Klopp. Thank you very much. Nope.
Yeah.
Don't think so. Haven't scored with a kick since New Zealand in December last year. Oh my goodness. Douglas, do you have a Scotland kit from this year? No, I don't actually. I've got the previous year's one as well. I love that Scotland qualified, but Robbo is effing injured. Scrap international football, says the Cobb Council. Yeah, absolutely indeed. Let's get on to Liverpool. Injury hit Liverpool. But then again, Neil, I can say the same for you. Injury hit Leicester. This is going to be a very interesting game on Sunday, isn't it?
I'm looking forward to it. At the same time, it's the kind of game that Leicester would go on and lose because it's a typical when you're expected to win, we always lose. It's just one. I think every team thinks like that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, especially with the amount of players that you've got out. I mean, we're going to hopefully have a couple of players back, but we've got basically a second back line with Ndidi out, with Evans just coming back, but again, he's not entirely fit at the moment. And then you've got Söyüncü still out, even though he's training with a Turkey squad, which is good. Ricardo and Castagna may be back in contention. So that entire back four is going to be a position that we're going to look that you're going to look weak in. And I know you guys have missed a few players as well, but at the same time, I'm really hoping for a high scoring game and a high footballing game. But I've got a feeling that Liverpool squad, just like the Man City game, is going to be completely exhausted, because as more than our squad, like you look at the likes of Jamie Vardy, James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, these guys weren't taken in the England squad, so they're going to have a bit of a 2-week rest now as well. You're going to have more internationals out, and we saw what happened in the second half performance against Man City. So just a question back to you.
Yeah.
Do you think this is going to affect your team coming into the game?
I mean, put it this way, I think the international break came at the right time for us, but we've obviously seen that, I could go for a list of injuries. I think almost our back four are now injured. Trent's injured, Van Dijk's injured, Gomez is injured, Robertson's injured, Thiago will probably be back, Fabinho will probably be back, Salah has COVID-19 now as well, so that gets even worse. Henderson's out. Alisson and Firmino will only get back on Thursday as well. I suppose the game is on Sunday, though. I think, let's just say, Sky being very kind to, I think, both of us for that. It's going to be a really interesting game. And I mean, like you say, you guys are getting, players back as well, like Ricardo, Castagna. Like Pereira has been a big miss for Leicester City. So that'll be so much relief that you'll get him back, won't you?
Hopefully, but I think you'll see with the long term, he's been out since March. So that injury is a 9-month injury. So he won't just be thrown back into the squad. And bearing in mind, James Justin and Luke Thomas are playing really good football at the moment. Mark Albrighton on that right wing back position as well. So he won't just walk back into the team. We had this similar situation with Maddison where he had, I think, a hip surgery. So he was nursed back into the squad over about 7 or 8 games, given 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So Ricardo probably the same thing. So yes, he has been a big loss, but the biggest compliment I can give Brendan Rodgers is that he's got the team playing brilliant football in the first 11 and the second 11. That's the only reason why Leicester have no audacity to be in the top of the table. And the fact that we've won 6 and we've lost 2 and we're still top, it kind of shows you already that nobody's really challenging that hard. Yes, we are top and we're going to take that because we don't know how long we're going to be there. However, other teams will get better over the time. But the fact is, 8 games in, that we're 6 wins, 2 losses, and we're already top. It shows you that this year is definitely different.
I do have a question. In the last Denmark game, Schmeichel was taken off at half-time in the Nations League. Is that just a really weird Nations League substitution, or is there any possibility that Schmeichel has a problem?
So Schmeichel got knocked unconscious. I didn't watch the match, but there was Leicester City Twitter was going crazy because obviously he's a massive player for us. He was taken off at half-time because I think he got a knee to the face or knee to the head. So for that reason, there was kind of a concussion. But anyway, he's back at the moment and he is playing. He is apparently going to train for Wednesday's game. However, it's still a concern. And obviously, it's the last thing we need is more people that are injured. So we'll have to see.
Isn't your backup a former Liverpool keeper, Danny Ward? Isn't it the Welshman?
Exactly. So it could come back to Liverpool and haunt you, Doug.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Danny Ward could actually, face his former club, which is mad to think that. Just
on a side note, I want to hear Neil's opinion about the former backup Leicester keeper Ben Hamer. I think he's one of the worst goalkeepers I've ever seen in my life.
He was all right for us for a bit. He was all right, and then I think he just, because you've got to remember that we only came into the Premier League in 2014. And we had basically a championship. We had a decent championship squad, which we've got 100 points in the championship. But from there, we've had to build year on year on year. So we've had some awful. Danny Ward's been a really good backup goalkeeper. Before we had Mark Schwarzer under Pearson because, quote, he played with me when I was playing, and he was a good keeper. So he was getting on for like 38, 40 years old as a keeper. Ben Hamer wasn't too bad for us, but he seems to have fallen off a cliff. And yeah, there's just been, again, we've paid 12 million for Danny Ward, and he's looked decent at times, but he's just nowhere near the level of Schmeichel. So Schmeichel, if Schmeichel's fit 100% every single time, he's going to start. So it'll be interesting to see if he starts against Liverpool. I can't really see it, because if Schmeichel has 2 legs and a head attached to him, he's going in goal for us.
Yeah, Balham, I hate to bring up the Liverpool injuries again, but it's just getting ridiculous now, isn't it?
I mean, how many of you guys got out at the moment? Is there anybody from the midfield position? Because I'm just looking at Matip as well. I think Chris has said Matip has got an injury. Is he out as well?
He's doubtful. I know that.
Isn't he always doubtful?
Yeah. It's to be honest with you, I just think it's getting ridiculous. And plus, international football, is a joke. I like Hella Carstead, who's a Man United fan, actually happy now that Harry was suspended. Injuries and COVID all over the place. Tellers is testing positive and or negative every other day. I believe he's tested negative, and now he's going to be playing for Brazil. So he could play for Man United at the weekend against West Brom. That would be very interesting. Does the English Premier League even have a concussion protocol? Ooh.
Hold on, I've got this. They sent it on the chat because they were looking into it. I'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they don't. But it might be more of a club protocol than an actual league protocol itself. Like the clubs might take responsibility for it instead of the league itself.
So I've got it here. Premier League concussion protocol is that 6 days before being cleared. So he should be good to go for the match against Liverpool. That's in terms of Schmeichel. But concussions are a funny thing. So that's what Alex has said from our group chat. So LCFC Canada. So yeah, maybe we'll have to see. But again, when it comes to an injury to the head, it's a knee to the face or head.
Just on my point, this is as a Leicester fan, because I know what Doug's opinion is on this from last week. Given the international break, you're obviously playing Europa League football this year, so you've got the packed schedule. Do you think that the 5 sub rule should be in the Premier League, or do you think it gives too much advantage to the likes of Liverpool or Chelsea?
I think Ian Wright brought up a great point where he goes, if there's a team like Leicester and Liverpool where you're both in European competitions, it makes sense to play 5. But I've also been on the losing end of that, where we haven't got the strength and depth that you guys have to compete on them fronts. So for me, I would say no, even though it's going to impact us massively. But I see that I still see Leicester as a smaller club. I know we're up there in kind of a top 10 position, but I still see us as a fan base and everything and we don't turn up that much. But I can see where your guys are coming from. However, it kind of is what it is. And is this the first season? Because obviously they introduced it for the COVID. I don't think anybody was really paying too much attention to it if it wasn't COVID. Like when you've had Champions League and Europa League before, Doug.
Good question. I think the thing is, like we've had injuries. We've had injuries. They're using the 5 sub rule in the Champions League, and I think it is working to an extent. But for me, the 5 sub rule was brought in because of obviously lockdown. Now, in my opinion, you shouldn't bring something back for the sake of it. But looking at it now, there's going to be more and more injuries. That's going to happen. But it is very, very interesting. Yeah, he probably makes a very good point. In the Champions League, Kasper Schmeichel played a match with a broken hand. Interesting. So he'll be available. He'll be available. Fun fact, Danny Ward only has 2 previous Premier League appearances for Liverpool, against who won the first 2-1 and lost the second 3-1.
One was a defeat at Swansea, wasn't it?
I think one was a game against Bournemouth. I think we won 2-1. That was a very makeshift team that day. 3-1. The only one I can think of, and I think it was 3-1, was Leicester.
3-1.
Not
When
a
was
clue.
Was it
it?
not
Nil
a defeat to
that?
Swansea? Something like that.
Could have been Swansea, actually. Could have been Swansea. Kian, if you're still there, then let us know. The Premier League are going to make a rule that if a player gets a concussion, the team will get a free substitute, but the player won't be able to play for the next match. Okay. Interesting.
Are going to make a rule, so that's just been like announced, because obviously that won't matter to the next week's game.
Yeah, very interesting that. Balham is banging on with the Swansea lot. 3-1. Wow. I did not
Yeah, I think
think.
it was in top first season or something.
Was that at Anfield or was that at the? Oh no! That was the very last day of the season, wasn't it? He played in that game. Yeah. Right, I got the Bournemouth one. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you that. George Kyle's in the chat. The goat has arrived. Hope you're doing well, George. Hope you're well. Yeah, 2-1 Bournemouth won. There you go as well. I've seen plans that they are next season. Okay. Thank you, Yeti boy, for that. Josh, obviously Chelsea don't have a lot of injuries. What do you make of Liverpool's injury? Actually, what do you make of Liverpool's injuries and Leicester's injuries?
Well, first of all, Chelsea, as far as I know, obviously, so the international break ends on Wednesday, isn't it? So we're still, I believe, our only current entry is Ben Chilwell, which means Marcus Alonso at left back, which I have expressed my opinion on Marcus Alonso very much so, and I despise the man with every hatred. Neil, do you want to play left back for us for a game?
How much am I getting? But yeah, I'll take his wage. Yeah, let's go. I've got a right foot. That's I'll do.
I just hate Alonso. I really hope Arsenal McLaren plays anyway. But listen, I think, as a Glenavon fan, we suffered a lot of injuries last year. I know what it's like to be an injury team. Chelsea had a lot of injuries at the start of the season. We were missing Pulisic, Ziyech, Ferner was missing a wee bit. We had Mandy got into. We had to see Kappa for one more game, which maybe that's how the game will forever live in my memory. Injuries
as well.
Pulisic, Ziyech, Ferner, Kovacic, Mendy, Chilwell, Silva. So all the Havertz is out. Havertz is out with COVID. Yeah. So we've had our injuries over the course of the whole season. But to not put it frankly, I think it's as simple as football. Injuries are part of football. Every team gets injuries. We've had our injuries over the course of a season. Leicester and Liverpool have had them all together. But when it comes to injuries, aren't the end of the season. What Brendan Rodgers has done with Leicester, what Klopp will do with Liverpool is, even when you get injuries, like the Barcelona game was a prime example for Liverpool when they were missing their all front three. When they were missing the whole front three, and yet they still beat Barcelona at Anfield. It's just when a team's together. Actually, no, Kepa was injured. He had a shoulder problem, so technically he actually was injured, but no one really cared about that. When a team plays together, injuries don't matter. I think Leicester's a good example of that so far. If a team has a tactic, a plan, and puts it out, you can even go to the Etihad and win 6-2 like Leicester did. Anything is possible even with injury. So I don't think Liverpool. You technically could, but I wouldn't. I don't think Liverpool could use injuries as an excuse. Injuries are part of football.
No.
You get on with it. It's Klopp's job to work around it, and it's just as simple as that. It's unfortunate, but the players will come back, and it's just a temporary job. And I don't think any of your injuries are long. Van Dijk and Gomez are, but I don't think anyone else is anyone severe.
I don't think so. Not that I've heard anyway. I know Henderson came off for England the other night, but I believe that's just a muscle problem. So he should be fine for Sunday, hopefully.
Injuries are part of football, and I think it is safe to say players have not been, especially in the Premier League, all over Europe, players are not protected at all. You know, they're expected to do things that players shouldn't. No human being should ever be expected to do. You know, with a lack of pre-season, playing Champions League or Europa League football near every single week on top of the Premier League for 3 weeks in a row. You've got the League Cup returning, the FA Cup's going to be starting soon. We're coming to the Christmas period. It's safe to say that's what happened to Liverpool and Leicester, in my personal opinion, will happen to so many clubs across Europe because they're just being asked to play way too much.
Yeah,
I think. Sorry, you go, mate.
George Kell brings up a very good point. Liverpool will still be able to grind out results. Yeah, I think so. I think so. They've made themselves
They did that last season.
They've made themselves into
grind out 2-1
a very, very hard. Yeah, they did. Yeah. 2-1 FC, if I remember rightly. Kean Dolan says, no, Kepa is injured as well. His hands don't work. Roy Keane said it after City won, Liverpool won. Liverpool still have brilliant mentalities, despite these injuries, still winning and getting results. So, yeah, absolutely. Kepa injured or just a bad keeper? Both. James Milner will probably end up playing like prime Fabio Cannavaro as centre-back. Well, James Milner, Mr. Reliable, of course. I think he's played the positions he's played, if I remember rightly. Right back, left back, right midfield, centre midfield, left midfield. I think he might have played left winger at one point as well. Right winger.
He played striker against MK Dons in the League Cup last year.
That's right. So he's basically and Josh disappears again. Josh got a good point. Injuries happen, unfortunately. And Liz Golden, James freaking Milner will save the day. Doug, how do the lads think about the 5-sub rule for or against, considering we and other teams are hampered with injuries? I think we've kind of answered that. I mean, for me, I think if we're going to bring it in, then I think it's only for this season, because I reckon that things might go back to
don't get ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself. I see where you're going with that.
Hindsight is a wonderful thing, as they say. But I honestly don't know. I think the 5-sub rule is good in the Champions League, but I think, as Josh said, the bigger teams would definitely benefit for sure.
In my opinion, the 5-sub. I'm being biased here because Chelsea have incredible depth. I can literally name so many players that we've gone cover. We've got Mendy and Petr Cech in that. So I'm not even mentioning Kepa or Caballero. Petr Cech for me all day long. You've got Alonso and Chilwell, Rudiger, Christensen, Silva, Tomori, Rudiger at centre back. As for Rishi at right back, Jorginho, Kovacic, Havertz, Mount in the midfield, and then Ferner, Giroud, Abraham, Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi, and Pulisic in attack. So, in my opinion, as a Chelsea fan, I don't think the 5-sub rule will work. I think it's ridiculously unfair that say it's in the leach and you're going into the 80th minute and you can bring on all of these attacking players and a small team like a Brighton stuff can only bring on an under 21 and experienced player.
Yeah,
it's unfair, and in my opinion, it makes the league unfair, and the only way to keep the league fair is keep the free sub rule. And the only way, in my opinion, that you were able to work around it, which they should have done in the first place, is you shouldn't have had the 5-sub rule at all. You should have had more of a split schedule, and then cram it all again together. That should have been how it was done.
I've just had an idea. Maybe you could do the 5-sub rule, but 2 of them subs have to be from your under-21s. So that way you're encouraging.
That's a good idea.
You're encouraging the under-21s to come through, because obviously, especially with a team like Liverpool, you've got some great players just on the edge of that kind of breaking into team that you send out on loan. That could be the opportunity for that player to get in, and also it means somebody like Brighton or West Brom that have got somebody in their ranks that are actually decent in that position as well can then jump into that position, take it, and then run with it. And maybe they'll go on and obviously you're looking at it. You look at Marcus Rashford, for example. Obviously, that's the top echelons of that. And Man United have got one of the best academies in the world. But the fact that he can come in and light up the Premier League and do what he did, and at the end of the day, if that's not going to happen, we're going to see more people like Sancho, like Billingham. They're all just going to go to Germany because they go, look, I can get football, I can play constant football, and they're not going to get it in the Premier League unless they get on loan like Wilson did from you guys down to Bournemouth. That's the only way they're really going to get that much experience. And obviously, Josh, you know firsthand the Chelsea loan system with the 5,000 players you've currently got on loan.
That literally is very true. I've pointed out, what if these two know? I believe the FA Cup this year will have new replays. It's a one-off game, every single game in the FA Cup this year, if I'm right, yeah?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I believe the English FA are going to let the 5 sub, because they run the FA Cup individually to the Premier League and the League Cup. They're going to allow the 5 sub rule in the FA Cup, which, in my opinion, I think that's worse than what it is in the league. To let to have a 5. Imagine Newport County's 5 subs against Man City's 5 subs. Like chalk and cheese. It would just be, it's like bringing on Messi on and bringing Doug on at centre back. It'd be. Sorry, Doug. No. I don't.
None taken from me being 6'5".
So the 5 sub rule for me, you can understand it for the player's sake, but in the long term and especially for the season, it could literally relegate a team. So.
George Kyle, still keep it at 3, so it's fair to all smaller clubs. Yeah, absolutely. Having David Coote in charge of VAR is like letting Boris Johnson be in charge of a country. What? So, having David Coote in charge of VAR is like letting Boris.
Basically, they're both in charge and they both shouldn't be.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Went from ET. That's fine. Next season will be fine. We've got about 50 vaccines that have been created. Liz Golden, Chris Welsh, spot on, boys. The breaks every quarter during the summer was so annoying as it made the game way too stop-start. Yeah, the drinks break. I think everyone remembers that. That was awful. I think we discussed on our Premier League thing that the drinks break was just ridiculous.
The good thing about the drinks break was when you were playing like in June or July weather, it was like 35 degrees. The drinks break was okay then, but when the drinks break was. When you were doing the drinks break when it was pouring down like it was against City and was it Spurs and United that day when it was piss pouring rain and like 2 degrees? Why? I don't understand the logic behind it. I don't know. Some people who make decisions in the FA or in UEFA just make you really think about life sometimes, They get paid triple times the wages I do.
I mean, I kind of get it, but at the same time, it was a good choice for me because if you need to go to the toilet, you're just like, right, got a minute, let's go to the toilet quickly and then come back before the second quarter kicks off. That's the only way that it makes that much sense. But I agree, it was annoying. But what can you do? What can you do?
So, I love that comment. City bringing on 500 million of players off the bench in the FA Cup. The scenes, haha. And then Kane Dolan's just followed up. City's 5 subs: Aguero, De Bruyne, Sterling, Diaz, and Laporte. Newport's 5 subs: a plumber, 2 farmers, a part-time carpenter, and a fat guy from Chiswick.
And me and Doug as well. Add them on the end.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I mean, as I've said, Sunday is going to be very interesting, and we have to talk about Leicester because you must be quite surprised that like the places you've won this season, like the Etihad, you absolutely destroyed Manchester City.
There's just a quick thing I want to add to that because Neil, I recognise your face because it took me a while to click onto you. You talk to Carefree Lewis, don't you, from Blue Fans TV quite a lot? Yeah. Yes. I remember at the end of last season and towards the start, there was a lot of talk from your end of things about Brendan Rodgers no longer going to continue on and that he put his house up for sale in Leicester. On top of what Doug has said, obviously now that you've started quite well this season. Is things for Brendan Rodgers now steady, or are you sticking to what your word was that he will probably not be there by the end of the season?
So the Cambridge, the Celtic job was probably one of the things that would exemplify Brendan Rodgers. I get it from his perspective that he wants the next best thing, and it was a good time for Leicester to come in. However, the way he left, in my opinion, if a big club comes for him, obviously, Doug, you know him from your Liverpool days. I am worried that potentially he will go to Man United. If they come offering, is he the kind of you've had him for I think a longer time than us now as well. Could you see him just going, yeah, well, we're going to go to Man United, the opportunity is not going to come very often. It's a massive team. I can get them better. Do you think they could do that?
Probably not Man United. I don't think he'll go to Man United. I'll say that now. I don't think he'll go to Man United. I think he's more probably suited to maybe like a team in Germany or somewhere like that. I don't see him leaving Leicester at the moment. I really don't. The way that you guys are playing at the moment, you've got Europa League football as well. You'd be looking very good in the Europa League as well. And it has. I actually think now that Rodgers will be linked with the likes. I think if Simeone goes from Atletico, actually he's just signing a contract. So actually, scrap that. I actually think he could potentially be suited to like a team like a Real Madrid, like an AC Milan, possibly. I don't think he'll go to one of the big clubs in England again, because his Liverpool time was mixed. I think it has to be said for that it was mixed, but I don't see him moving to a big club.
Okay, it's interesting because we kind of, as Leicester fans, we do see that it was his route back into the Premier League. It was his way to kind of, after the Liverpool thing and how big the fan base was, we were kind of coming downhill. The way that I think there was too much pressure and there's too much of a leap to go from Swansea to Liverpool. At the time, I think it was a great. Thanks for that comment, George. Really appreciate it. We'll probably get onto that in a bit anyway. But yeah, I think back to Brendan Rodgers. He's doing really great at the moment. He's definitely improved from last year and the season before when he came in for them 10 games. He's understood the squad and he's building something special at Leicester. And I really do hope we can keep hold of him. However, maybe it's because I'm a Leicester fan and I've been supporting them for so long that I see a player like him, or we see a manager like Martin O'Neill these many moons ago when Celtic were like, right, we've got an opportunity to get this manager. Let's get him in. And we are just kind of, I think most of us are very happy and we want to keep him. However, in the back of our minds, we do realize we're kind of living in a fairy tale world where we've got as good a manager as we're going to get. So if a good offer is going to come for him, he will go and we'll be disappointed. But at the same time, we kind of have to accept that at the same time. And it's just part of the football business now. We don't expect him to have too much loyalty to us. So I don't know.
Only worry for Leicester City, they started well last season and fell off second half of last season. They won't want that again. Obviously, this time they got Europa League distraction. We don't want Rodgers, says George Kyle. We want Nagelsmann. Pegleg, formerly known as Tarum, says we will not go for Rodgers. Chris Rush has asked, where do you expect Leicester to finish in the league so far and how far you will go in Europa League?
So Europa League, we're currently first. I think we're 8 goal difference, 3 games, wins 3 wins from 3. 8 goal difference and 9 points. So it's good. We've put a great start so far. Where we'll go in the league, I'm not sure. So at the beginning, me, Ant, and James on our show predicted that I think we finished 8th, 10th, and 12th. We genuinely didn't think that we were going to predict that we were going to go that high. Nowadays, I don't know. Again, I know we're first and I know we're doing really well, but the games are going to come thick and fast. And as you guys know, you've got the squad depth if you've got major injuries.
Yeah.
We don't. We've got a decent backup now, which is the reason why we fell off the cliff, is because when we had a few big players out, we just fell off. Now you can see we've got a decent Premier League team, a second team that's actually playing well. That'll be great. But with Europa League, I mean, I'm hopeful for a top 7 finish because this team is really well gelled together. But I think time will tell because these games are just going to come thick and fast. I think we can make the group stages of the Europa League. Hopefully, if we can do a Wolves and get to the semis, that would be great and decent European run because we don't know if we're going to get it again. But I think we'll be okay, to be honest. So I think we'll be okay. But I think it's good to get carried away for a little bit because I don't think we'll have it for too long. However, coming to the end of the season, I'll take top 10 finish and a decent run in the Europa League.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, I'm just going to pick up on a comment that George Kyle said. Kian, I'd pick Spurs just for the greatest ever AFTV meltdown. What, Spurs winning the Champions League? That would be interesting. DT would lose it, says Kian. Yeah. Hella saying hello to Taran. Hello, Queen. Remember Celtic reserves bigger than Leicester? What a load of nonsense from Chris Sutton that was. Yeah, it was a load of nonsense. It was a load of nonsense. I'd say in the league, top 4 must be the target for Leicester. What do you think about that?
Potentially, but I think you'll see, last year when Chelsea sorted themselves out, Man United sorted themselves out, you can just see them doing the same thing this season. And no, we've got our 80 million. We've put it into some good players this season. So the fridge is yours. You can keep the fridge.
You never rated him. Yeah, you never rated him. No, we used to watch your shows with Blues TV. You thought McGuire for 80 million was better, and not for the worst.
What it was is he had all the hype after. If you watch England, he got the England call up, then the hype started. Then he had the World Cup, and again he did really well in that World Cup. Well, he didn't do really well. He had a decent World Cup, and after that, everybody loved him. The year after he came back from the World Cup, he wanted that Man United move. Jose Mourinho wanted him for 80 mil, and I think either Man United didn't put the money up for him, or the club said no, or something. It didn't happen. But his head was turned, and we've seen that with Chilwell. Like Chilwell is, I don't know if Josh had ever watched Leicester. Well, you saw him probably in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup last year. Chilwell, from when you saw him play for us compared to the way he plays for you, looks like a completely different player, doesn't he?
Yeah, I believe from what Chilwell has said and from what I've seen from a lot of Chelsea fans, it seemed like towards the back end of last season, obviously on top of it, before he got the injury, it seemed like he was struggling from mental problems. It seems like a lot of mental problems and mental physical health is really getting to him, affecting his performance. But he looks like since he came back from the injury, he looks like his mental health's been refreshed, and he looks like he was absolutely worth the money.
Here's an interesting question. Do you think that Söyüncü is much better than Maguire? I see some real similarities in terms of their play, and Söyüncü is very highly rated like Maguire was.
So yeah, the story behind Söyüncü is quite an interesting one. I don't know how he is in terms of what people were mentioning, because I've just saw that comment. It put me off. But yeah, it was really good. Söyüncü was bought in when Jose Mourinho came after Maguire, because we were literally going down to the wire whether he was going to be sold or not. Söyüncü was bought in on that day just to like shore up, because other than that we didn't really have. We had him, Morgan, and Evans, and literally had no other central defenders then. So we bought in Benkovic on the day. We bought in Söyüncü, and Söyüncü, nobody really knew anything about him, and he was sliding all over the place. But he had a year to train up with the squad, and when Maguire left, he slotted seamlessly into that position. So he's less good in the air as Maguire. He's better with the ball at his feet. And I think he's quicker. He's much quicker and much more aggressive. Like if he loses the ball, Maguire doesn't have that same aggression to go, no, I'm going to win this ball back. This guy isn't getting past me. Maguire he will put in that challenge, but it's just not the same energy, So Söyüncü is, again, great, and Maguire is definitely better in the air, but that's me. I'm not got COVID, I promise. I'll get some water. 1 second. Dying.
No, I mean the thing is like Söyüncü, Lord Farquaad. Sorry, if you haven't seen the pictures of Lord Farquaad and Söyüncü, honestly, look at them. They look so alike.
Leicester City have actually tweeted about that. They've done a frame by frame, and they've got Söyüncü's face and Farquaad's face. It's so good. It's really so. They're playing into the meme, which I'm like, I'm approving of that.
And another question for Neil, as a Northern Ireland fan, Johnny Evans is what we call Johnny Evans to be one of probably the best defender in Northern Ireland's history. We think Johnny Evans is absolutely exceptional. He's Mr. Consistent. You got him from United for what, 6 million after Louis van Gaal chucked him out. And I'm sure there's some United fans who I just want to hear what their opinion is.
West Brom.
Do you think West Brom, that's right. Do you think Johnny Evans is Mr. Consistent?
Yeah, he's going underrated. So a lot of the time we were mentioning Söyüncü. You know firsthand how good he is for Northern Ireland. His calmness, and his professionalism, and the fact that he's won so much with Man United, he's coming to us, and he took over from Wes Morgan, and Wes Morgan was our captain, but he's got nowhere near the level of experience at a Europa League level and a Champions League level and winning the title level that Johnny Evans has. And if you watch the game in person, you see how effective. I'll probably singing the same song as you at the moment, Josh, where it's like when we have him alongside another defender, he's constantly telling them, "You go here, pick your time to go," and he's constantly coaching everybody around him. So Soyuncu would be half the player he was without Evans, and Evans has gone right under the radar. And he's a great, as you know, for Northern Ireland, he's a great player, but for some reason he's just slipped under the radar. And because he was based in West Brom, he wants to kind of settle down with his family. I mean, his family can stay there and he can come over to Leicester, and it's only about 30, 40 miles away. But from your perspective, Josh, like you probably see him game in, game out. You're like, this guy's just class.
And the thing is, he's a Brendan Rodgers centre back because his ball playing skills is incredible. Johnny Evans on the ball is so calm and so slick to watch. He's a top class ball playing centre back. I love watching him on the ball. It's just a shame before when the score down, he gets the ball, goes poof, up the pitch to our strikers because that's how we play. But his long balls weren't even that bad.
He's one of the players that when he's out of the squad, you miss because you don't notice him when he's not there. And when he's out of the squad, we've looked a very different team, and just the way he coaches the people around him is amazing.
See, we look after him. He didn't play last night against Austria, so we're keeping him rested just for Liverpool, just so Chelsea can win the league. Just so Chelsea can win the league.
We need to move on now. Go back to 2018 World Cup, and the song was "Southgate, You're the One. You Still Turn Me On." Go 24 months later, Southgate Out was trending on Twitter. Now, I know that Chris Welsh is a big England fan. I know he's a big criticizer of Gareth Southgate. Has Gareth Southgate ruined this England team? Josh?
He's more defensive than Jose Mourinho.
Mm-hmm.
That team that played against Belgium was a disgrace. How is Pickford still starting? Why is Jordan Pickford still the England number one? I'm sorry. Okay, fair enough. Dean Henderson's now a backup choice keeper at Man United, so he doesn't get the time. But how is Nick Pope not playing? Someone tell me how Nick Pope is not playing for England. I don't know. How is Jordan Pickford still starting?
It's well, you could say the same question for even Mason Mount as well, because I agree he's a great player, he had a great start, but we, from an outsider's perspective, right, from a Leicester fan's perspective, we couldn't imagine that we were going to get that many players in the England squad. I didn't think that if Jamie Vardy didn't come along, that we would see another Leicester player in an England top. I just didn't think it would happen. Take it back 10 years. But they'll always favour the bigger teams. 100% always. That's always been the case. There's a reason in 2016 why they took Wiltshire over Danny Drinkwater. There's a reason why Mason Mount is starting games when you've got Sancho, Rashford, you've got other players. But
that's my point. Right. Why did he play a back three of Mings, Dyer, and Kyle Walker against Belgium? Like, where's the logic in playing a right back, an average centre back, and Mings, who isn't internationally experienced?
Because nobody else to go with. I mean, who else was there?
It's midfield and Rice and Henderson's okay. I don't think there's much of a problem against that. But then playing Mason Mount, Grealish, and Harry Kane, there is no pace to counter attack at all. Mason Mount's not a winger. Grealish was out of position. He was on the opposite wing, and then Harry Kane's Harry Kane. But where's the pace? Like, how were you ever going to counter attack Belgium? There's no surprise you lost that game in the way you did.
Well, 100%. Put it this way, Josh. Mason Mount is Gareth Southgate and Frank Lampard's love child. So
he's a number 8. He can play number 8 completely fine. He's not a 10, and he can definitely not play on the wing. I've said this before for Chelsea. He can't play as a left winger. But Gareth Southgate's team selections, and even having Pickford as a starting keeper, it just makes absolutely no sense in the world. I know. I don't know how. I think Gareth Southgate, hand on heart, controversial opinion. Is it going to be recorded and kept? I'm going to say it now. England will not get past the round of 16 of the Euros. They will be knocked out.
Ooh, that is a shout and a half, that.
And Gareth Southgate will do worse than Roy Hodgson did when they lost to Iceland.
Ooh, interesting.
And he'll be gone. And he'll be gone after that.
Oh, that's good news. There's cautious optimism for Liverpool that injuries to Jordan Henderson and Andy Robertson are not serious, and both will be back to face Leicester City on Sunday. Maddox.
I was going to say Sunday.
Yeah.
I don't take the mirror seriously after what happened with
Rashford. Oh yeah, absolutely. Josh, you're being complimented on that shout of Pope as number one. Yeah. George Kyle, my biggest gripe is why we have never had a world-class manager in my lifetime as England manager.
We have Capello, and he couldn't make it work. We had Sven, who was potentially he was pretty, I won't say world class, but he was up there at what time we got Sven. He was good as possible. They've tried everything, but I think what it is the England job is just a toxic job. Regardless of what you think, it's the player has got quality, and there's just so much pressure that comes with it. Imagine Roy Hodgson went, and this should be the biggest job in England going. Nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. So
I'm sorry. That's a great comment. According to Southgate, no competition for Pickford. I've never heard so much garbage in my life. My local town Carlisle keeper is better.
Right. Here's Kappa. It's the answer to that, very simple. Neel, here. When the Euros come about, assuming everyone is fit, what formation are you playing, and who's your starting 11 for the Euros?
That's a hard one. If everybody's fit, for me, if you got to go tactics, you realise defensively we're not good. You look at both. You look at people like Trent and you look at Chilwell. Both of them are flying fullbacks. They're not very good at defending. So if you're going to play, you're going to have to go and win games 5-4. So you're going to play you play 4-1-4-1. You'd stick, and you just have everything flying forward towards that team. And hopefully we can outscore the opponent, because defensively we're terrible. So why would you play 3 at the back? Like, it makes no sense to me. Go and play football. Go and win games 5-4. It will make the fans excited. It will make the crowd excited, and it will make something interesting to watch. The fact that we're leaking a goal and scoring a goal, because all of our potential is all up front. Our defensive wise, we've not really got anything. I mean, yes, we've got a great left wing, right back, and left backs. We've got loads of them, but none of them are actually good defensively. So if you're going to play, just play 4-1-4-1 and then just hit them all forward.
What about Wan-Bissaka?
He's not going to start ahead of Trent, though, is he?
No. It's Southgate. You never know. Kyle Walker plays centre back.
You asked me for mine, but I get what you mean. He's not going to. I've said even that at the moment, you'd pick Tariq Lamptey over Wan-Bissaka at the moment. Tariq Lamptey's doing absolutely amazing for Brighton.
Yeah. Yes.
It's hard. It's hard decision, but there's again, Vardy played a certain way. If you play to his strength, he's great. But England don't want to play to his strength, and I get it. But at the same time, he doesn't want to come out of retirement. He's good just nursing, doing well for Leicester. And what benefit would it be for him to come out of retirement? Because he's not going to start ahead of Kane. If Calvert-Lewin keeps up, he's not starting ahead of him. He's not starting ahead of Ings as well. Even if he does get more goals than all 3 of them, he's not coming out of retirement. And I'd rather play Calvert-Lewin and give him the opportunity instead of Vardy, because Vardy's great, but they ain't going to play to his strengths, so don't.
Who would your starting keeper be?
Sorry?
Who would your starting keeper be for England? He's the number 1.
You have to pick Pope. If the current way Pickford's going, you've got Pope, and then Henderson is a great keeper, but if he's not getting any game time, I'd honestly rather get Ramsdale in, because at least he's playing football. Yes, he might not be as good keeper-wise, but I'd rather get Ramsdale in that goalkeeper position because he's got Premier League experience, you know?
Just on the side note, isn't it quite sad how we don't even talk about Jack Butland these days? Man, that's about a goalkeeper's career. He fell down. Jack Butland can't even make it into the first team of any team these days.
And again, part of that is obviously got injured at England. But look at Rob Green. He was a decent keeper, had that awful game for England, and his career just went downhill. I don't think players want to risk it nowadays as well.
England, I actually think playing for England has more pressure than playing for Barcelona or Real Madrid. The amount of pressure that's on England players and coaching staff is just incredible. I have never seen. It's like the fact that when you got into the Euros, the last Euros when you lost to Croatia in the semi-final, even the amount, the World Cup was it? Sorry, no, the World Cup wasn't. The amount of pressure, like even that was Southgate's first big international tournament ever in his career because he didn't really manage any team before that. Your team wasn't particularly great. You were a really defensive team, and you were expected to win it. Like I think just being a part of the England culture and football team is just way too much pressure. Too much pressure.
It's way too toxic. As going to games and stuff like that as well. It needs to be a bit drawn back. I mean, the 2018, we didn't expect anything. And then it got delivered to us. And I think what it is with the talent that we've got, you're looking at world-class players as well, especially in the attacking positions. So if you've got world-class players, you just need somebody that can get the best out of them. Even the way that Greenwood and Foden, he handled that situation wasn't very good. The Grealish situation where he kept going, how do you think of Grealish, blah, 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 and then he kept going, yes, but Mount was very good. That was a weird move. So it was annoying, but at the same time, what can you do? Because England are a decent team. England are a really decent team, but I think nobody wants to roll because there's too much, as you were saying, Josh, too much pressure and it's too toxic.
Yeah. Do you think Southgate's the right man though? To answer the question from the start, do you think he's the right man, or do you think maybe, or it seems like the general consensus, especially after how the last two breaks are going to at the end of the Euros, he'll be shipped on, unless he wins it, of course.
The better question is who's going to replace him, and I can't think of another person that's going to replace. It's the same. It's not all his fault. There's a load of problems with the FA and the way that England are organised as well that people don't talk about. I mean, it's not, they just all want to put blame on Southgate. And again, he deserves to be criticised. However, it's not all him. You look at all the managers that have come beforehand. Do you think it's all their faults? No, it's just they're the guy that the gun gets pointed at, And Steve McLaren and Roy Hodgson have made bad mistakes. But however, you got to admit, from an outside perspective looking in, you're going, there's just something wrong with this place. There is just something wrong with this football team where even if you've got the world's best talent, nothing's happening. Yeah. And there's a reason why.
What about you, Doug? Do you think Southgate deserves a criticism, or is Steve Clarke, the Scotland manager, better than what he is?
Steve Clarke has made mistakes as Scotland manager. I will not deny that.
Pakistan.
Kazakhstan. Yeah, do not remind me. The fact that we went from losing 3-0 to Kazakhstan and losing 4-0 to Belgium to qualifying for the Euros is and remarkable.
Also, you only bet San Marino 2-0 away from home too.
I know.
The worst team in international football.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think if England don't get out of that group, Southgate is sacked on the spot.
Sacked at half time? Sacked at half time? Honestly,
we are currently third, by the way. Denmark are ahead of us on goal difference. So technically we are sitting in third.
Oh my goodness. So you need
Denmark
to
are terrible. Denmark are an awful team. They're not that good.
Well, they're not. England are a better team than Denmark for sure. But if they can't qualify, they can't qualify.
The fact we didn't win a major tournament with the golden generation was a disgrace. Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't qualify, let alone winning the tournament. We need to be at the tournament.
Yeah. Also, on the subject of England, Ray Clements died on yesterday, actually. So our thoughts and condolences are with Ray Clements' family. I was lucky enough to meet him in 2015 as well. Cracking bloke. Absolutely cracking bloke.
Who haven't you met? That's what every single person. That's what I take a picture of you with everyone. Everyone.
Well, at that same event, I met Ray Clemens and Gordon Banks. So
Jesus.
you know, those are memories that you treasure, and those are two memories I'll treasure.
I remember when Nicholas Sturgeon was congratulating the Scotland team for going to the Euros, and the top comment and the most liked comment was someone telling her to open up the pubs.
Yeah, I know, but she's not doing that. Jordan Henderson has been released from the England squad and returned to the club for further assessment, so that means he will miss the Iceland game. Very interesting. Now, this is the part where we speak about Euros and favourites. So, get in the chat. Your favourites for the Euros. Obviously, you've got the likes of France, you've got Portugal, you've got Belgium, you've got Italy, you've got Spain, Holland, possibly. There's so many. So
no, the Dutch have Frank de Boer as their manager. No hope with Frank de Boer as manager. Get out of here, Frank de Boer. Oh dear.
Martinez in charge of Belgium, and he's doing all right. He was kind of laughed out of England.
It's Frank de Boer. he has had 6 games in charge as the Dutch, 5 losses and 1 win.
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
So let's discuss about the home nations, because obviously Scotland and England are in the same group, believe it or not. Scotland, England, Croatia, and Czech Republic. Yeah, how do you think England will do in the Euros, Neil?
It's a roll of the dice, mate. I've got a feeling it's going to be like because as the fan base gets more and more toxic, the Scottish fan base is going to get more and more happy, and they're going to build off that and go, right, well, we're just going to nick a 1-0, play 6 at the back, and then England can't break us down, and the fact that we've knocked them out will be the happiest time in the world. So I can see that happening, quite honestly.
Yeah,
but to be honest, maybe it will happen. I can see us getting out of the group. We should get out of the group. Whether we will or not is going to be another question. But I don't know. What do you think about Scotland's chances? Because obviously you've qualified. That's great news to you.
Just a quick comment. Did you not play each other in a Euro qualifying group recently? I think Craig. I can't remember who the manager was of Scotland at the time. But you played. It was against Gareth Southgate's England at Hampton Park, and you won 2-1. That then I remember Hampton Park erupted, absolutely
2-2?
erupted.
Is it 2-2?
2-2.
Yeah, League West was 2.
Yeah, I think you came back to. I think you were 2-0 down and came back to make it 2-each.
That was Gordon Strachan.
Yeah, that's the one. And I remember Hampton Park. Hampton Park erupted. That I couldn't believe it when I seen it. Like that was incredible. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Yeah, that was the last competitive game they played between each other. To be honest with you, I've seen us play Czech Republic. They ain't anything special. I've seen us play Croatia before. We've beaten Croatia before as well, and we've beaten Czech Republic. So I reckon if we beat those two, I reckon we get out of the group. England is, who knows? Who knows what happens? I mean, we lost 3-2 to yous many years ago. Actually, no, 2012 that was. 2012 we lost 3-2 at the at Wembley. But no, just like I just think every Scotland fan will be just proud that they've made it, because I don't think I've said this so many times. I don't think I ever had the knowledge that they would get through. So it's fantastic to qualify to begin with. But it's going to be really interesting. Yeah, Borat country. Cheers for that.
And Israel did you a couple of times too.
Oh God, yeah. As Israel beat us 2-1, I think in Israel as well. But
so,
yeah,
and Cyprus,
there's been
and Cyprus.
and
Cyprus. Well, I can actually just name a couple of teams.
Oh,
but you're going to the Euros, and I'm not. So
It's that team spirit. Honestly, I've seen it with Iceland. I've seen it with Leicester. I've seen it with teams where it doesn't matter about how good you are as a team. It matters on how well you guys are playing together. I think massively.
Chris Welsh says France.
Nope, not for me this year.
It's a good shout, though.
I'm going Portugal.
It's a good shout.
I'm going Portugal.
George Kyle, Portugal.
I agree with George. Yep, Portugal for me.
I remember when my dad took me and my little brother to see Ireland play Wales in Dublin, and we got access to the players' lounge afterwards. I'll never forget my brother. He was 4 at the time. He poked Damon Duff in the arse with a pen looking for an autograph. It was as cute as damn thing. Oh, bless. I got 3 teams to win Euros. France B team, France C team. France's squad depth is unbelievable. Like, they're so strong. Oh, here we go. It's coming home. No, it's not. not at Isney. Well, maybe not 4, but it was small enough. The early plane coming home for England. Negative England fan here. The early plane coming home. Oh, interesting. Yes, it was 2-2. Yeah, it was. Oh, here we go. My top 3 picks for Euro 2021. Ireland, San Marino, and the Faroe Islands. Oh, shite. Hang on.
Honestly, I have to say, if you ever want a laugh in football during an international break, watch San Marino try and defend in a football game. It is the most comical thing you will ever. I feel sorry for the guys because they don't have any talent, and they celebrated a draw against Gibraltar like it was like the World Cup. They won the World Cup. North Korea, but like trying to watch them defend.
Kian.
I genuinely don't know.
It was 2006, 2008, 2010. I can't remember. We played. I think it's 2010.
Google.
Was it not 2014? Was it not 2014 World Cup? You had a group of Uruguay, Italy, and who was the other one?
Oh, yeah, we're out of that one as well. Are we just out of all of them? Yeah, Italy, Uruguay. I think it might have been Slovenia. I think. Going back now. No, 2010 we didn't even qualify.
It was either
2010 we didn't even get to the bloody tournament.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's 2014. I think we had like Uruguay.
Yeah, 2014.
Italy and Costa Rica. I think that was the last game we had. Costa Rica. Yeah, George.
San Marino have gone 2 games unbeaten for the first.
Yeah. Trying to watch him defend. Like, I will never forget. We played San Marino. I remember the game. We played
Costa Rica. That's it.
I remember the game we played San Marino at home in the World Cup qualifying against Northern Ireland. They crossed the ball into the box and their striker had a free header to score. I have never seen my heart drop so much if we conceded to San Marino in our backyard. No thanks.
Yeah.
No thanks.
England are awful. No hope whatsoever of winning the tournament. As soon as they meet a half-decent team, they get outclassed. Yeah, absolutely. Costa Rica.
They've got more than a half-decent team. England have.
Costa Rica, Navas. Oh, yeah, Navas. Navas, of course. Yeah. Okay. How do we think Wales will do, Josh?
Well, it depends on the managers, because we don't really know if it's going to be Ryan Giggs or not, so and that alone, and it all depends. It really depends how fit Gareth Bale is. Does anyone know what their group is?
Oh, they've got Italy. They've got Italy. I know that. I know they got Italy.
I'll have a look now.
Did that ball go? That's really difficult.
Italy, Turkey.
Yeah, I'm not getting out of it. Yeah, I'm getting out of it. They're finishing fourth.
No,
they're finishing
Switzerland
fourth.
have got a decent team. Turkey are actually an underrated team.
They bet France both times.
Yeah.
So I think they're finishing fourth in that group. I think they don't have a defense. They don't have a defense. I don't think they can't in a one-off games. They won't be able to do it.
I get England fans messaging me, we look good 3-0 against Ireland, we can win anything. It's a bloody friendly, told them to get drug tested.
Plus it's Ireland. Plus it's the Republic of Ireland. They haven't scored and one goal under their new managers. It doesn't take much to beat that. It doesn't take much to beat the Republic these days. No offense, Kane.
Yeah,
you're just not
the
you're just atrocious.
The Republic are not doing very well. So that's obviously the home nation. So Italy. To be honest, I haven't seen much of Italy, but I do know that Roberto Mancini has done really well with Italy. How do we think Italy are one of the favourites?
No, not yet. I think give them a. You see it with like France and Belgium. They're rebirthing this new kind of squad, and that's kind of where Italy should be. And it'll take them a couple of tournaments. And I think they'll be okay. But I think they're high and mighty days from when they won. I think it's been kind of downhill from there. Germany? Would Germany? They could not mention Germany yet.
They're exactly the same as what you just said about Italy. They're Lucky Lau's currently rebuilding that team all over. Like, I don't think he doesn't have any, except for Toni Kroos potentially and Neuer. He doesn't have any of his experienced players that were doing well and who won the World Cups and do well in the European competition. So I think they will probably get to the quarterfinals and get knocked out, because if you look at his defense is a really, really youthful defense. They have no real international experience in big tournaments, and Neuer's nowhere near as good as he used to be. So I don't think Germany will be anywhere near the finals. I think it's between three teams. I think it's between France, Portugal, and I'm trying to think who else.
I'm just having a look now. Who's actually part of it? Demo. No, not really anything. I've got Croatia, maybe.
No, that World Cup squad was when players were in their prime. You know, they don't have as good squad. I think it has to be between Portugal and France.
Portugal and France. Yeah, I mean. Portugal. I mean, we could go for the squad. I mean, with probably not good time to do that. But
just say Wolves, and you're halfway there.
Yeah, that's just what I said. I have to players for Wolves. Yeah, just what I said.
Pretty much. But yeah, they're the holders. They're the holders. So it's going to be really interesting.
And I think Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo will have the best competition internationally he's ever had. I think he'll want to go and win it. I think this is going to be his last one before he retires. I think he'll go all out for it.
No one's stopping France for me, says Chris Welsh. Well, we'll see. I mean, they came unstuck in the Euro final to Portugal. Although they did lose to Finland, but they played a weakened team. But can I do a cold Chinese Tuesday night in Stoke, George? Well, that's interesting. Then between four teams, Spain, Germany, Portugal, and France. Yes, Spain hasn't been mentioned, actually. What do we think of Spain?
Portugal, the new Spain.
Spain are transitioning too, though.
Yeah.
If you look at their last two squads that they've played, it says a lot that David De Gea and Kepa were on the bench for the Atletico Bilbao keeper, Uni Cinnamon. Was in their last game, and De Gea and Kepa on the bench. What's the name? Lucas Enrique, isn't it? Is the manager now? Oh, because he took back over the job after leaving it. I don't think he knows his best. He doesn't know his best team yet. He's still figuring out the best formation, the best players. Even their attacking threat for a Spanish team is quite average. I think it's safe to say. I don't think they have any real. Real good attacking threat. The midfield's decent. Defense is aging. Can't see it.
They've not really gotten. Yeah, sorry, you're saying, Doug. Just that point now.
Yeah. Spain aren't nearly as good as their 08-12 golden era, but they're on the rise again. Neil?
I think they're going to need another 4 to 8 years to really get that talent through again. I think you've seen certain teams. I think Italy are another one where they're kind of coming into their prime. But they've got a long way to go just of yet. And there's the likes of Portugal, where you've got a load of players in the Premier League and doing absolute business in different departments as well. So it's brilliant to see Portugal doing so well. I think they probably will be favourites. Belgium is probably another one that I think they've kind of not been going under the radar, but I think they're pretty much getting to their prime as well with a lot of their players.
Good evening to Nippon Sharma. He's asked this: who should be England's next manager? He's Southgate out.
Sam Allardyce.
Here we go again. There isn't anybody that's going to take it because nobody wants it. I don't think anybody wants it. Do you know who would be a really good manager for England? Genuinely, Mauricio Pochettino. He would be such a good England manager, bringing up them young youth players, coming into their own. He knows how to take a really not great squad and take them up to the top level, and he's not afraid to be there at that top level. He would be a great manager, but again, they won't pay the money, and I really think that Mauricio wouldn't want to come. So I think that's the main problem. Who would want to come to England at the moment?
Here's another point as well to add to just in the general football scheme. I think Doug would agree on this too. I think a lot of managers, especially in the last 5 years, there's a lot of managers who, in general, will just not take international jobs and want a full-time job at a club instead. Because you don't really see many good managers now around the international teams, except for ones that are still there, like Roberto Martinez, Lucky Lau, Roberto Mancini. But like, do you really see many great managers internationally anymore? Like, it says a lot of Frank de Boer's the Dutch manager for the squad that they do have,
and who are at their peak. Like, you look at Klopp's at his peak. You look at all these top managers. They're kind of getting towards the peak of their careers. There's nobody that's peaking with an international team. It's kind of like Mancini stuff that have done stuff for other clubs and they're kind of gone, this'll do. I need a club. It's like that kind of job that you take just to kind of like see out my career and get a decent paycheck. And that's for all international teams, I think, as well.
I think the thing is with me, like, we've seen that Joachim Löw is still at Germany, which I'm absolutely surprised by because their performance at the 2018 World Cup was absolutely ridiculous. South Korea, and Son got 2 goals in that. It was mad. Someone said Allardyce has got the best record as England manager: 1 game, 1 win. That's very true. That is very true. Shane O'Donnell asked this question: will Euro 2020 go around Europe, or will it just host it in one country, just as normal during this uncertain time?
Ooh. No, you see, it's extremely hard to answer that question because of the vaccine news we've had in the last 2 to 3 weeks. So it's extremely difficult because technically they say by the time the Euros comes around that we'll all be vaccinated and the pandemic will be over. In my personal opinion, I think they will continue to do it around because I think it's too much money. You know what? We all know what UEFA is like with money. I think too much money's been spent on this whole European travel scheme. I think the amount of debate and uproar and stuff that it would be to try and host it in one country when there's been no preparation for it at all. Because we all know how much preparation countries take for Euros. If there's fans or won't be, we don't know yet. So I don't think it will change.
This question was asked.
Sorry.
This question was asked: whose trophy drought will end first, Tottenham or England? I'm saying this now. I think Tottenham might win a trophy this season.
Yep, I think so too. More than England will.
Yeah, Belgium always fall apart in the big games. Sadly, yeah, that's a one thing you can say about Belgium is that they've got a good squad, but when it comes to when they need to, turn it on.
Do you both remember the World Cup against Japan when they went 2-0 down and then Brungan Fellaini won the game 3-2?
Yeah, weird. Absolutely
weird.
Neil,
were you going to say something about the Euros and it being around Europe and all?
Yeah, I was going to say what Europe, because I don't know if is it hosted in Northern Ireland and Scotland as well.
The Republic of Ireland will be Republic of Ireland, but not Northern Ireland.
Okay. Hampden Park's got a few games. I know that.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of it? Because I think the joy of having a World Cup or an Euros in one place, so that all these cultures can come, rather than just a couple of teams and a couple of fans, it's not the same atmosphere, is it?
No. Not at all.
And that's literally, I know friends that go. I've got a friend who doesn't even like football, but he's from Peru and he went to support his team in Russia. And he's like, yeah, I went to go, and he doesn't really care about football, but he was more interested in meeting other people from other cultures, showing his culture to other people, and that's what he loved the most. So yeah, it's more about the celebration of culture and different players and stuff like that than it is actually about the football. And I think that main bit is being drawn away. And the fact that you can go to a bar and see, well, where are you from? Oh, I'm from Denmark. I'm from wherever. and meet all these people. There, you're just going to meet. Oh, where are you from? Oh, you're from Scotland. Where are we playing? Scotland. Oh, of course you are. There's nothing wrong with that, but it brings that goodness away from what a Euros or a World Cup atmosphere will be, and surely that's the whole point.
A cool random fact is that next year in Northern Ireland at Windsor Park, we're holding the Super Cup next year. Random fact.
Okay.
We're holding the
there
Super
we
Cup
go.
next year. Doug, hey, Doug, I'll make you an agreement, okay? If you win the Champions League this year and you play the Super Cup Windsor Park, come over to Northern Ireland and I'll meet you.
I'd take that.
You need to win the Champions League first of all. Actually, wait, sorry, we're winning it. Sorry. I just had to ruin your hopes there.
That's all right. Hello to Nathan. Evening, guys. Hope everyone's good. Wembley robbed the games we were meant to be having in Wales. Just
a quick comment, Nathan. Could you DM me on Twitter after the podcast? Just say that now. I remember.
Ooh, interesting. How only realistic choice after Southgate, but unfortunately still be the same old problems. Right, this is a bit where everyone can join in. We're going to do a combined 11 of the Premier League so far. So between the three of us, we're going to have to agree.
We're going to hear from our own teams, okay?
We're going to have to agree. We're going to have to agree on the team. So we'll see. Right, goalkeeper. Who is your goalkeeper going to be? I'm going to say now.
Pickford.
Kappa. Penalcheck. He's in the Premier League squad technically, so just a real note. Alisson for me. Alisson. Yeah, for me, Alisson.
Neel.
There's not really. I don't know. It's who's kept the most clean sheets is a good one. Who's got big saves. I can't really look past too many. Would you put Mendy in?
Not yet.
Already?
Not yet, no.
Yeah, that's one play. I think Schmeichel could be a shout, to be honest. I know I'm a biased Leicester fan, but I think he could be a shout to put in there. But I wouldn't.
How about this? How about we do 6 subs? I would go Alisson as my starting keeper, but I would put Schmeichel on the bench. on my bench.
Cool. Well, we can do the subs bench later, but I'd say, yeah, I think Doug would agree on Alisson as well, right?
Do you know what?
Too many injuries. Too many injuries.
I think the thing is, Alisson has not played every single game this season. For me, I'm going to go Emi Martinez.
What's a shout? Yeah.
I think Aston Villa have been outstanding this season so far. Emi Martinez has been
until recently though. They lost 3-0 to Leeds, and they lost recently to somebody else as well, didn't they?
Southampton.
I think
so.
I do.
That's a quarter of the results.
I do think though that since Martinez has come in, I think Villa have really improved defensively. I was going to say Alex McCarthy as well. I think Southampton have done really well this season. Josh goes Alisson, Neil goes Alisson as well. I've put Martinez, but if we're gonna agree on the popular one, it's got to be Alisson.
# democracy.
Right back. I'm gonna say mine first. Tariq Lamptey.
That was my one as well.
Yeah,
outstanding.
I can't believe we let him go on a free.
I saw him play against us, and he had Chilwell ragged the entire time. And I was like, "Oh, this guy's special," but he's turned it up again this season.
We let him go for free. He left Chelsea for free last January.
Well, that's what happens when you have 5,000 people out on loan. When they're gonna want to leave, and then you will get good people that leave.
Just a shame that he had Azpilicueta and Reece James ahead of him.
So
Tariq Lamptey.
Tariq Lamptey, yeah. I think a lot of you have agreed with this. It has to be Lamptey. Kieran Dolan, I don't know what is up with you tonight. You're just getting comment after comments here. I'm like a crap Terminator. I'll be back. NWM says Kasper Schmeichel. Gotta be the ex-Bluebird.
Biased. Echo biased there, Nathan.
4-3-3.
Yeah, 4-3-3. Yeah, 4-3-3.
Yeah, we'll go for 4-3-3. Right.
Who plays 4-4-2 in 2020?
Burnley. That's why they're bottom.
It's you. Oh, Brexit FC. Oh dear.
Absolutely. United way. John is in. Hope you're doing well, John. Good of you to pop in. Centre backs is really tricky.
Oh,
really tricky.
Oh, that's one that's tough.
It's been an attacking season, so there's not really. Who's been great?
Right.
There
well,
really hasn't been too many.
Thiago Silva, he has been, except for that one West Brom thing, you can't say Thiago Silva's not played well this year.
Could I say Vestergaard from Southampton?
He was one of mine. I think he's been outstanding. I think Vestergaard's been outstanding for Southampton.
Kurt Zuma from Chelsea?
Thiago Silva just edges it for me over him.
But yeah, you can't put. I don't think you put Thiago Silva in just yet. He's too early. He's still getting time to bed in. Could I say Fofana?
Fofana,
because since he's come in, he's looked absolutely brilliant. However, he's only played, I think, 6 games, but he's brilliant. Obviously, a point for Leicester, but still.
Tyrone Mings, that's a decent
Mings
shout.
is a good shout. Let me have a look. Let me get him up. I'll have a look at some fantasy looks of Premier League players as well. But I think Vestergaard, I think, as you were saying, it would be a good one to get in. Tyrone Mings.
I mean, I was going to put Gabriel in there, but he's hardly played.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Obama from West Ham.
That's a shout.
West Ham
that is a shout, actually.
West Ham defensively have been great. I think Obama's been one of our most consistent players all year.
That's a shout as well. Ruben Diaz. I think he's been good.
He's been good, but he's not been like for the money they paid for him and for how he is. He's not blown away. Do you know what I mean? He's not like Maybe there's too much of a price tag on him, but I think does that taint a player?
Right, my two centre backs. This is going to be really controversial. I'm going to go Ogbonna and Johnny Evans.
Ooh,
Johnny
interesting.
Evans. I'd love to say Johnny Evans, but he's not even played that much.
Yeah, but when he has played, I think he's been the best centre back in the Premier League this year so far. When he has played.
What about Willy Bolly?
I was going to.
Cody.
Wolves defensively have not been good this year at all. They're nowhere near what they have been the last 2 years.
Okay. Konza.
I actually agree with
Konza and Mings. Konza's actually been really good as well. Up there with Mings, and speaking from Villa Together, Chris from Villa Together, he said Konza's looked absolutely brilliant this year.
I was going to say Vestergaard and Konza.
Okay.
What do we think?
I think we'll go with that then, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. So Konza and Vestergaard as our back line.
Who thought we'd be saying that with like the Van Dijk and Laporte and Willy Bolly and Conor Cody and Thiago Silva? You're picking, that just shows how good the defenses have been this year.
Yeah. Left back's really interesting.
Ben Chilwell.
You're gonna say Ben Chilwell, and he is, but he's not. How many games has he actually played for you guys?
He's only missed 2 Premier League games this year.
Oh, okay. I think it just seems like it was more.
That was more to do with. It was more the fact that he was coming off the bench was probably the more of the scenario. He came off the bench 3 times and started the last few Premier League games. So Ben Chilwell for me because he's been from Alonso to him.
Yeah,
not even. It's incredible. For me, it has to be. For me, it's Chilwell because Andy Robertson hasn't really lit up the league. Cancelo hasn't done. He plays out of position. He's not been great. Luke Shaw.
Robertson has been better than Trent, though. I'll say that now. I think Robertson's been better than Trent this season so far. Luke Shaw, you could argue Luke Shaw has had a good start.
Luca Digne.
Yeah, Lucas and Digne, yeah.
Luca Digne is a good shout. What about another fellow, Scott? What about Tierney? I don't think he's really in the picture, is he?
He plays centre back for Arsenal on a back three. He doesn't actually technically a left back this year.
Oh, really?
He's not technically a left back this year.
Carl Walker-Peters has looked decent.
He's looked decent, but I don't think he's up there.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just kind of browsing what I've got at the moment.
I think it's Chilwell.
I think Chilwell and then Digne for second.
I'll agree on Chilwell. I don't think there's been really many sort of standouts, really, have there?
No, not really.
This year.
Even everyone, big up to the Scots. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you very, very much. Luke Shaw, exemplary at left back all season. Okay. Interesting.
CDM now? It has to be Declan Rice. It has to be Declan Rice. It has to be Rice.
Is that what we're playing 4-3-3? Okay.
It has to be Rice for me. I can't even say Kante. I'm sure even Neel would like to say Kante.
Yeah.
I think it has to be Rice.
Kante's great, but you can't. But Lampard's not playing in his best position. So that's more Lampard's fault than it is Kante's fault.
I went on a full conversation with Reese about this last week. I'm not going to go for it again. We'll be here all day, but as I said, I feel like Kante can play there against the smaller teams, but against the bigger teams when he's pressed, he's not particularly great because he's not good on the ball. He's not good enough on the ball. But I think it's Declan Rice. I think he's a complete CDM.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
I'm gonna agree. I think it is definitely Declan Rice. I think it is definitely Declan Rice. One of the midfielders I want to say. I think George will probably agree with me. Even though Man United have not been great, this player has basically outshone everyone. Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, no question about that for me. Bruno's in there.
But then you've got quite a few because you're going to have to put...
Bruno's definitely in there.
Would you put Rodriguez in there? Would you put Grealish in there? Would you put even Zaha in there?
Hamas has played as a right winger though this year, so he's technically in the winger category instead of the midfield category this year.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought as well.
I tell you what, Fornals is having a decent, but he's on the wing, isn't he?
No, he's a left mid. Yeah, he's a left mid.
Yeah,
he's left mid. So we're gonna go for Bruno. We're gonna go for Bruno. So that
could I put Tielemans? Could I say Tielemans?
I was going to say Tielemans. Yeah, I was going to say Tielemans.
Every time I'm just like, okay, I'm being a biased Leicester fan, but you're allowed to call me out if that's. But I think he's come on leaps and bounds this year.
I think he got. Did you not get him for such a good price too for his level and age and all? I think you got it.
I think we got him for between 30 and 40 mil.
Yeah, I think for he's 23, 24. Yeah, I think that was worth the money.
Hello, Paul. I know Nathan's in the chat as well. He's gone Rice, Grealish, James Rodriguez.
Grealish is played as a winger too, though, so he doesn't count as a midfielder this year either.
Yeah.
So last midfield, we're going to go with Rice, Bruno, and Tielemans. Is that right?
That's a scary midfield for you to come up against.
Yeah.
I wouldn't particularly fancy that. Rice is coming to Chelsea.
It's quite a scary midfield.
That's actually quite a balanced midfield as well.
And the thing is,
you've got a CDM, number 8, and then a cam as well.
Rice is coming to Chelsea next year, so we're going to have Rice, Kai Havertz, and goodness knows who. So, exciting times ahead.
You've got everybody. You've got Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho still there.
Ross Barkley and Ruben Officier come back on loan at the end of the
season. Ridiculous.
Right, front three. I think this is where it gets really interesting. Who are you going for left? Who are you going for left winger?
So, okay, who have we got? Who have we got first?
Too many people.
Yeah.
Grealish, Son,
Pulisic, but he's
Salah's more right though.
Okay. Zaha's had a really good season as well.
He has, but he still hasn't been a world beater, has he? Though, to be in a
still blows hot and cold now from time to time.
Leicester don't have wingers, do they? You play a narrow formation, so you don't really have any money.
Yeah.
Harvey Barnes would be the only real one.
Son, I think, is nailed on pretty much.
Yes, I would agree.
So what have you got? Grealish, Salah. Who would you play there?
We're talking about the right wing now.
I'm just going two wingers.
I will go Son on the left and Grealish on the right.
And no Salah. Because Salah has been good this season. He's not been as good as his usual self. However,
but there's a difference between doing it and what. But there's a difference between doing it and what was known as the best front three in the world to an average Aston Villa team. You know,
hello,
he recognises the shirt.
I'm looking forward to speaking to you at some point this week.
Yeah, it'll be a good show.
Son is a shoe in at left wing.
I think so.
Right wing. I think it's between Rodriguez and Salah.
For me, it's not Rodriguez. It's Grealish or Salah.
Grealish or Salah.
Yeah.
I'm going Grealish. He's still in a far less better team than what Salah's done with Liverpool.
I know, but 8 goals in 8 games, though. It's a good start to the season.
How many of them were penalties?
No, not many.
Not many. 3, I think. 3.
So I don't think Grealish. Any of Grealish have been penalties. They've all been from open play.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Grealish. I'm actually going to go Grealish. I think Grealish has been outstanding. And
he ran Arsenal ragged.
Villa.
He ran Arsenal in circles. With it. You know. Grealish.
Let me just say, we can have a bench as well. Okay, we can have a bench as well. So if there's any players we missed out, then get in the chat and we can do a bench as well. Forwards, we've got Harry Kane, we've got Ollie Watkins. I think they're the only, and Vardy. I think they're the only 3 that you can.
Vardy,
Ings and Calvert-Lewin as well.
Oh, of course, yeah, Ings and Calvert-Lewin.
It makes this position is hard.
I'm not going to go Danny Ings because he isn't up there with the rest. He hasn't. I think he still will, but I don't think he's reached there yet. But I think it's still 10 times more to come. He had a couple of injuries at the start of the season, so that's kind of set him back. So I think it is between Calvert-Lewin, Ollie Watkins, and Jamie Vardy.
I don't think you can put Ollie Watkins just because the lack of goals, and that's what a striker gets judged on.
Yeah.
And Harry Kane is
Harry.
Oh,
to be
Bamford and Wilson as well. They're not going to get it, but I think they deserve shouts.
Timo Werner, he's been one of our best players.
Werner as well.
He's been one of our best players this year.
It took him a bit of time to get going, to be fair.
Diego Jota.
Jota.
Yeah.
Jota's a really good shout. Really good shout.
It's a good shout, but it's a runner-up. I mean, they're miles away from the likes of Kane, Calvert-Lewin, Vardy. You know, I think there's like a runner-up category, and I think like Bamford and that kind of crew is about there, and Ings, but they're not good enough.
There's a lot of people. So we've got
Adams.
Seamus Moore saying I'm going with Watkins. Nathan says Calvert-Lewin. Paul says Kane. George says Kane and Son is like fish and chips in this team. Oh, fish and chips, yum, yum, yum. You'll make me hungry. Here we go. Vardy, end of, because if you chat beep, you will get, the rest.
Yeah. just looking at the results, right? So if we go Calvert-Lewin, he's got 8 goals, 1 assist. Who else are we saying? Ollie Watkins has got 6 goals, 1 assist. Jamie Vardy has got 8 goals, 2 assists, and Harry Kane has got 7 goals and 8 assists. So just from that alone, there is only really one player you can put in. And if you're judged on goals and assists, he's miles away. I mean, I don't want to say Harry Kane because it's always Harry. It was like David De Gea a couple of years ago. It was always going to be the goalkeeper. Andy Carroll for what? For Waterboy.
Joe Linton.
Wilson though.
Andy
Wilson
Carroll. Andy Carroll.
Wait, I don't care. Michael Antonio
Okay.
Michael Antonio from West Ham.
Yeah, Mikel Antonio is a good shout as well.
He doesn't get the goals, but his work rate his work rate is just incredible.
Oh, Chris, no.
I'm surprised we've not said Aubameyang coming into this season, but he doesn't deserve to be in this list.
Ashley Barnes.
Are you just naming players that you think are that are kind of there? Oh, Doug's gone. But yeah, just looking at them now, this is a hard position. I think Werner is too early to tell. I think coming the end of the season, he might be there. So I think really it's Kane. I mean, Kane, Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, I'd say would be my top 3.
It has to be Harry Kane then.
It has to be. With 8 assists. 8 assists in 8 games. As well
That's
as you'd expect that from De Bruyne.
Aye. I know. It's quite interesting though. There's no Man City players in this team.
They don't deserve to be there. Kevin De Bruyne would be the only player I'd consider putting in there. Yeah, but I don't think he's been considered enough.
We said this on the show last week. De Bruyne has not even reached 50% of what he is as a player. He's nowhere near. He doesn't look fit at all. Doesn't look absolutely fit at all. And
that's Pep's job.
And their striker and their attacking team, they just can't get consistent tackling players because they're getting injured right, left, and centre. So yeah, and defensively they're a shambles.
So our team is Alisson, Lamptey, Vestergaard, Konza, Chilwell, Rice, Fernandes, Tillemans, and then it's Son, Grealish, and Kane. That's a very good team, actually.
Yeah. You're not going to get... So are we going to do that's a good team, but are we going to do a runners-up bench as well?
Schmeichel's
one per position.
Schmeichel's on the bench. I'm saying that now.
I think, yeah. You can't get too much further than Schmeichel.
Can we put Petr Cech on the bench, actually?
No, we're not putting Petr Cech on the bench unless it was 2011?
He's in the Premier League squad, though. He technically is a player now. He's new, so,
I mean, you'd have to give him a cap for to be on the bench. You need to have at least 1 game played, 1 minute played.
Okay, so yeah, we'll go for Schmeichel.
Yeah.
Carl Darlow? Shout.
Adrian?
I was thinking Martinez, but no. Now we're being very silly. Now we are very, very silly.
Do you not like him?
Ooh. Seamus just put one on. A good shout for the bench is James Ward-Prowse.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's been outstanding.
He's been really, really good. That's a really good shout.
Can we have Jota on the bench at all?
Yes, there's no doubt about Jota.
Should we do midfielders? Should we do defenders first? We'll go backwards.
Right.
We've got what? We say Schmeichel second, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Schmeichel. Yeah.
So we'll do 4-3-3 again, and we'll just do it. Who's the second right back?
Reece James.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a shout.
Reece James has been one of the.
James Justin's been amazing for us, but I don't think he's at the level of a Reece James yet.
Reece James has gone under the radar this year. He is some talent. He is some bloody talent. He is. The fact that he starts ahead of Asamoah, our club captain, says it all. The Porter right back.
Oh, right. Right. Kyle Walker-Peters.
I want Aaron Wan-Bissaka's been terrible this season. I think he's been atrocious. I think he's nowhere near what he was last year. I don't think he makes the reserves. I don't
think anybody in that Man United team, apart from Bruno Fernandes, is anywhere near as good.
De Gea's been decent, but probably not a player.
And I agree, JJ has been immense. I think he's been great, but I don't think he's going to get there ahead of James. I think James is still a better person. And he's if you're looking at probably the most versatile player in the Premier League, he's like Milner. He's played everywhere from left wing, centre back, left wing, right wing. He's played everywhere. So as a good all around, I'd have JJ in, but I couldn't see him getting in even on the bench.
We're going for Reece James.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll go for Reece James as our right back on the bench. Right. Who's our centre back going to be for the bench? Do you think?
Zuma's on the bench.
Zuma's on the bench for me. The other one for me is I think I'm going to go for Ogbonna. I'm thinking of Ogbonna for me. I'm thinking of what my choice is going to be for the first team.
Ogbonna.
I'd put Evans in over Ogbonna.
Yeah, I can't. It's Johnny Evans. I can't say no. I can't say no.
Good.
I can't say no to Johnny Evans. I love the man too much.
Left back. Can I say Castagna for Leicester?
You're so biased.
I know, and I'll admit that. However, we have had a fantastic season, and I should be allowed to gloat.
Well, when we get to striker, should we call for Salami or Iheanacho?
No.
Salami.
But I
don't know how he's still at Leicester, to be honest.
I mean, he's got, I think, a few goals and a few assists already and he's been brilliant for us. 1 goal, 3 assists, and bearing in mind he's played 8 games from a left back.
Castagna to be fair, has been very good. Yeah.
I'll go for Castagna. Yeah, I will not argue that one. I'll go for him. Or maybe Marcus Alonso.
Yeah.
Nah.
No. No. Definitely not.
Who have we got so far then? Is there anybody? I'm trying to think for like Doherty. Has Doherty had a good?
No, he can't play in the back four.
He's hardly played.
I don't think he can play in the back four. I think he can only play as a right wing back. I don't think he'll fit Mourinho's back four system.
He's getting to that kind of time of night, isn't it? Watershed's coming up.
George Kyle, yes.
Digne,
that's a shout as well.
Yeah.
Digne.
Okay, I'll retract my statement. Digne's been really good.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Okay. I totally forgot about him for some reason.
Who do you think CDM? Yeah. Calvin Phillips?
Right, mid.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh. Could you say indeed, or has he been too injured?
No, he's too injured. If anybody, you have to say Mendy. Any room for Ruglion? Says Bluebird for left back.
No,
not ahead of Digne.
Not yet.
Not ahead of Digne for me. No, I wouldn't say that.
James McCarthy for Crystal Palace. He's been.
Oh, this is really tricky.
Good. James McCarthy from Crystal Palace.
James Ward-Prowse.
He's not CDM though, is he?
Yeah, he's not CDM.
Oh, he's not a CDM though, is he? He's not a CDM.
No, I know who. Thomas Schuyak from West Ham. He's in him Rice in the midfield or Fabinho.
Yeah.
Fabinho.
He's not.
I don't think he's played enough.
He's played. He's not even played as a CDM for a lot of the time, has he?
I never actually thought of Fabinho. That's the thing. I never thought of Fabinho. But
he's more of
which is not a good sign, or is it just because you forgot about the existing? No. not in a bad way, but in terms of the conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'm actually going to make everyone cringe here in the chat. I'm just watching Doug and Neil's faces. El Nani from Arsenal, he's actually been really good.
He turned his camera off and he's gone. You've upset him that much.
El Neni has actually played really well.
So what are your thoughts on El Neni?
He's actually played really well this year.
El Neni.
He has played well.
Apart from the fact that he played well at Old Trafford, he's not been great.
Yeah, I can't put him ahead of other people.
How about
really?
Yeah. Well, Souček, I agree with. I think Souček is a fantastic show.
Or Højbjerg.
We've got to have a what?
Højbjerg.
We've got to have. Yeah. Left winger. Jota.
I'll go for Jota.
But there's so many in that left wing position.
Rashford is a shout, I guess, too.
Zaha as used for a midfielder or for a winger.
Sterling.
So we've got a holding. So we got two number 8s kind of thing.
What was Sterling?
As a winger?
Yeah.
I thought we were doing number 8s, no? Like 2 number 8s.
Well, Doug from CDM to left winger. I don't know if he's forgot how to play a formation or.
Yeah, I was going to say, should we finish off the midfield?
It's very, very difficult. I think.
It's a hard one. Who would I say in that central midfield? I just don't know. Central. Who else did we mention last time? Does McGinn have a shout?
We're supposed to just have 7 on the bench.
I know, but it's been a good season, so we'd like to name a few more. We're playing new. What's it called?
The
Super League breaks off. You're going to have another 11 substitutions on the bench.
Yeah,
but in the defense, we have to put James Ward-Prowse.
Yeah, James Ward.
Yes, absolutely.
My middle 3 would be Ziyech, James Ward-Prowse, and Højbjerg.
Has Højbjerg been that much of a destroyer?
I would agree.
He has. Yeah, he's been great this year. His stats are incredible.
Okay, we can go for that then.
Right, striker. Who's striker?
It's between Jamie Vardy, I know I'm biased, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
I'm going to go with Calvert-Lewin. I think he's. I think Vardy's doing it consistently, but Calvert-Lewin's took his game since Ancelotti, and I even think Duncan Fergus has played a big part in Calvert-Lewin's development. So I'm going to go for Calvert-Lewin.
I'd agree.
Well, there we go. That's the starting 11 and the reserve 11 that we've all picked. Gentlemen, it has been an absolute pleasure yet again. Big thanks to Neel from Beyond the 90 for coming on as well. Where can we find you on your socials?
Yes, if you just go on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, we're at Beyond the 90 LCFC, as you can see in my title just there. So just come follow us, tell us what you thought, and we're going to have Doug on our show soon. So make sure you subscribe for that because we're looking forward to having Doug on. Yeah, I'm looking forward to going on to that as well. Josh, thank you again. I will be in touch with you over the week. I'm pretty sure of that. Just going to put a quick note in there that I'm the reason why Neil's on, and also why we're going to have our guests on Thursday. Just a quick shove to say that I'm doing all my work behind the scenes, Doug, am I? Working away. Literally on the night of the European playoffs, me and Doug were saying, right, Thursday night we're going to see if Dan will feel like again on 5 minutes. Boom, done, sorted. We're good to go. I'm not good. Anyway, guys, yes, as Josh kindly reminds me, there will be an extra podcast. That will be out on Friday. There will be an extra podcast on Friday. We are recording one on Thursday, so that should be good fun as well. But until then, it's goodbye from me. If you do like this content, please hit that subscribe button. Smash a like on this video. It's been a fantastic podcast yet again. I'll see you all on the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye for now. Enjoy your Premier League weekend.